ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय राधिकाय प्रियात्मने श्रीमद्भक्तिवेदान्त नारायणेति नामिने प्रेम भक्तिरसानन्दं कृपासिन्धुं ममाननं प्रज्ञापयन्तं वन्दे श्रीभक्तिवेदान्तनारायणं। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे. So today we are continuing with two verses, verse 30 and verse 31 of Shri Brahma Samhita. Venum kvanantam aravinda dadayataksham barhavatam samasitam buddha sundarangam Kandarpakoti kamaniya visesha shobham Govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. I worship the primeval personality Sri Govinda, who is absorbed in playing upon his flute, whose long eyes expand and bloom like lotus flowers, whose headdress is adorned with peacock feathers, and whose unique bodily complexion, which resembles the luster of a dark blue rain cloud, bewilders the minds of millions of cupids. Tika translation of Srila Jiva Goswami. Later, in this devotional scripture, there are descriptions such as Kataganam Natyam Gamanamapi. In that abode, even natural speech is melodious song, coming and going is a dance, and the flute is the intimate female companion, or Sakhi. In accordance with these descriptions, the previous verse has also described the abode of desire-fulfilling gems as the extraordinary setting of the Swarasaki Lila in Goloka. Now, these two verses, 30 and 31, beginning with the words Venum Kwanantam, describe the second place of pastimes, wherein the mantra upasana mayi lila, the subject of this detailed meditation, takes place. The mantra upasana mayi lila, which is also referred to previously as mantra mayi upasana, this mantra upasana mayi lila is situated in one place, without the singing, dancing, and so on included in Swarasaki lila. I worship Sri Govinda Dev, the primeval personality, who is absorbed in playing a sweet, stirring melody on his flute, who glances softly with his two elongated eyes, which resemble the expanded, soft petals of a lotus flower, who wears a crown of peacock feathers upon his head, whose bodily complexion is like a fresh rain cloud, and whose radiant limbs reproach the beauty of millions of Kandarpas or Cupids. Tatparya by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. In this verse, the incomparable beauty of Sri Krishna, the transcendental lover of Vrindavan, is being described. Sri Krishna is the supreme conscious entity whose body has a fully spiritual swarup. In describing Krishna's swarup, one may compare it with charming aspects of the mundane world, but this simply indicates the general direction of the factual substance in accordance with the logic known as Shaka-Chandra Nyaya, pointing to the moon through the branches of a tree. Krishna is absorbed in playing upon his flute, which steals the consciousness of all living entities when they come in contact with its delightful melody. So there are just a couple of things to touch on here. In the Vivriti commentary by Srila Gurudev on the next verse, there is also a more in-depth explanation, but let's just pause here for a moment and describe a couple of these things. So, Srila Jiva Goswami has described that in the verse Chintamani Prakara Sadmasu Kalpavriksha, this is Swarasaki Lila Upasana. And the Swarasaki Lila Upasana is described as superior because this is according to the ras that one seeks to cultivate, and it is describing Leelas in all places in the Dham, and many different pastimes, many different Leelas, and this is generally what we follow. Now these two verses, beginning with Venum Kvanandam, this is Mantra Mai Upasana. So meditating upon a mantra, like this mantra, one can meditate upon a specific pastime in a specific place. And so this is being given as an example of mantra mayupasana. Now Krishna's Swarup is transcendental, and this is also emphasized here, and also Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Visesha Shobham. He is attracting tens of millions of cupids. How attractive he is. So he is Madan Mohan. He is enchanting tens of millions of cupids. And Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying here, one could compare Krishna's Swarup with charming aspects of the mundane world. So this is an example of the mundane world. Cupid is so attractive, he bewilders the minds of all, and in comparing Krishna's beauty to that which is more attractive, that can attract tens of millions of Cupid, this is actually a limited analogy. Shaka Chandra Nyaya is, let's say there is a tree, and there's a beautiful full moon shining in the sky. It is visible through the branches of the tree. So if I'm telling a small child, look, there's the moon. It's between the branches of this tree. The moon is not between the branches of the tree. We're only looking through the branches of the tree. The moon is hundreds of millions of miles away. It is not between the branches of that tree, but Shaka Chandra Nyaya means that I might use something that appears to be close as a way of framing or giving the context. So I'm pointing, oh look, there it is. It's not there, but that shows you the direction, the indication. So we're getting this indication how beautiful Krishna is, how sweet Krishna's form is, and his beautiful loving glances, his beautiful lotus-like eyes. We cannot, from our perspective, our mundane intelligence, we want to chew everything in our mundane intelligence, in our mundane mind, and then we think, oh, I have learned and I have understood. No, these things only Tanum Swam, when Sri Krishna, through the grace of his devotees, through his Shaktis, when we get full blessings, full grace, then realization of Krishna Tattva, Shakti Tattva, Dham Tattva, Nam Tattva, the sweetness of Nam Rasa Tattva, all of these things will manifest within the hearts, and that is when we will actually have darshan. So for now we are getting Shaka Chandra Nyaya, we're getting this indication. And when we are able to realize the sweetness of the sound of Krishna's flute, then our heart becomes captivated. But this is something that will only happen when we have come to the stage. First there will be ruchi, and there will be abhas of ruchi, and then ruchi will come, and then asakti, and then rati will come, and then we will actually realize these things in our heart. So continuing with the Tatparya of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Just as the quality of softness is present in the petals of a lotus flower, similarly his transcendental glance, which removes pain from the hearts of all, is full of tenderness and compassion. The sympathetic glances from his lotus eyes expand the unlimited beauty of his moon-like face. The elegance of Krishna's headdress, decorated with peacock feathers, enhances his sublime transcendental countenance. Just as a dark blue rain cloud is a soothing sight for the eyes, similarly, Sri Krishna's transcendental bluish complexion is a joy to behold. Moreover, if one could multiply a millionfold the attractive qualities present in Cupid, the resultant creation would still become madly infatuated upon seeing Sri Krishna's enchanting Swarup. So again, Shaka Chandra Nyaya, we're getting the indication to give us an idea how attractive Krishna is. Cupid makes everybody mad. Everyone is crazy because of Cupid. People are attracted, sexual attraction is just driving this whole world. And it's such a powerful thing. We don't really become free from it until we reach the stage of rati. And even in the stage of rati, it may be possible, but it is actually not possible in the stage of rati. When rati has bloomed in the heart, then we are actually attracted to Krishna, and the Swarup Shakti has entered the heart and transformed. Someone may argue, but look at Bharat Maharaj. No, Bharat Maharaj, this was an arrangement of Yogamaya to show that he could become attached to a deer, that even someone who is in the stage of rati could become too much attached to any type of object. But actually that devotee who is on the stage of rati, they are past the stage when they may be attracted by Cupid. Nothing else is going to hold attraction, because now Vishuddha Sattva has entered the heart. They have been touched by the sweetness of Swarup Shakti, but still, even in the stage of rati, we are told that we should be cautious, and we will continue our sadhana as jata rati sadhana. So Cupid makes everyone crazy, and also any sadhak who is not on the stage of rati, who is in ajata rati sadhana stage, is going to be affected by Cupid. But Krishna's beauty completely defeats the beauty of Cupid. So when we come in the stage of rati, and this beauty and sweetness begins to manifest, even from the stage of ruchi, and when we have become attached to chanting Harinam, there will be some taste, some preliminary taste of the sweetness, just as the sun upon rising, even before it has cleared the horizon, there is some light visible. So how enchanting is Krishna's Swarup? It's not really possible to understand from our mundane perspective and using our words, even in Sanskrit, Bangla, English, whatever language. We can only get an indication. But if we hear from the lips of pure devotees who have realized, who have even who have come to the stage of ruchi, or better yet, who have come to the stage of rati, or better yet, one who is the premi bhakta, who has come from the spiritual world, then something comes in our ears, something touches our hearts, and when we feel that, we may sometimes think, oh wow, now I have realized the end goal and everything is easy. It's easy only as long as you were in that sangha, in that association. And then when we are bereft of the association of the Mahabhagavat, then we have to hold on very tightly to what we have learned, what we have experienced, and continue our sadhana in this way. Now, it is also said here that Krishna's glance has the quality of softness of a lotus petal. Lotus petals are so soft, so delicate. And Krishna has also a glance which removes pain from the hearts of all and is full of tenderness and compassion. This is a very important quality. The quality of tenderness and compassion must be present within the heart of a sadhak if we want to attract the mind of Sri Krishna. Krishna is only attracted by prem. So, Krishna Akarshani. This is one of the final two qualities which come in the platform of prem. That this is what will attract Krishna. So Krishna himself is attracted by the prem within the heart of the devotee. But even in our stage of bhajana kriya, when we are trying to do bhajan, even to say that we are in the stage of anartha nivritti is a little bit presumptuous. We are actually trying to do bhajan, and we are trying to overcome laya and the other anarthas, so that we can actually do serious anartha nivritti and come to the stage of nishta. But we must have tenderness and compassion within our hearts. Our hearts should be very soft and they should be very sweet. We should not hold ill feelings towards others, especially toward devotees. We should not hold grudges. We should not criticize. Never criticize, because if we criticize, then sometimes we have to criticize. We have to say, "Oh, Prabhu, you're not doing this right. Let me show you how it should be done." This is a necessary criticism, but it should be given very sweetly, very kindly. And even if we are trying to, stop someone from saying angry things or doing angry things, we should also try to do it sweetly, because we want this quality of sweetness to come in our hearts. Otherwise, bhakti, which is the manifestation of the heart of Srimati Radhika, will never come in our heart, because Srimati Radhika is very, very tender and very sweet and very soft. She will not, her bhakti will not come in the heart of a devotee who holds a harsh attitude. Now, there is also a dichotomy between we must have discrimination and we must also be strict with ourselves. But we should be very forgiving with others. So this is another thing. Being soft-hearted doesn't mean that we are mushy-minded and we can easily accept any nonsense idea. We have to be able to say that ideas are nonsense, and at the same time, we must be very soft-hearted. And tenderness and compassion for others means that, very sweetly we will give them some prasadam, very sweetly we can give them some harikatha, we can tell them. And harikatha also means starting from, that you are not this body. We are not man, woman, child, black, white, Indian, American, LGBTQ, cis, hetero, trans, any of these designations. These are all designations related to the body. We are spirit, soul, Atma, which is part of the Shakti of Krishna. And we will experience actual anand and actual love in connection with our loving, worshipable personality, Sri Krishna, and who is accompanied by his unlimited Shaktis. So let us move on and go through the next verse with Vivriti of Srila Gurudev. Alola Chandrakala Sadvanamalya Vamshi Ratnangadam Pranaya Kelikala Vilasam Shyamam Tribhanga Lalitam Niyata Prakasham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship the original personality, Sri Govinda, around whose neck a garland of forest flowers and peacock feathers swings gently, whose lotus hands hold a captivating flute, whose arms are decorated with jeweled ornaments, who is always madly absorbed in intimate, loving pastimes, and whose eternal, natural aspect is his graceful, threefold bending Shyamasundar form. Translation of Tika by Srila Jiva Goswami. Here, Pranaya Keli Vilas, games full of intimate loving pastimes, indicates that Sri Krishna is the crest jewel of experts in the art of laughter and joking, and that his pastime is to revel in that skillfulness. In the Amarakosh Sanskrit dictionary, the word keli is defined as humorous behavior, dravakeli parihasa. So, Tatparya of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. In verse 29, beginning Chindamani Prakara, Govinda's transcendental abode and name have been described. Then his eternal spiritual form has been depicted in verse 30, beginning Venum Kwanantam. Now, in this verse, we find an account of his playful pastimes, which are complete with 64 qualities. Insofar as it is possible to describe transcendental affairs, one should understand that all activities pertaining to the amorous mellow or madhurya ras have been included in the phrase pranayakeli vilas. So this phrase, pranayakeli vilas, it conveys so much of madhurya ras. Madhurya ras is all sweetness, and Sri Krishna is Dhira Lalita Nayak. He is the hero who is Dhira Lalita. Dhira Lalita is the playful hero who is very loving and playful and very clever in wordplay. So once Srimati Radhika, this is described in Sri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, asked Krishna, Yamin yamu ushitaha, where did you stay during the night? Then Krishna replied by making a pun on the Sanskrit words, because yamin yam means in the night, ushitaha means resided. But Krishna interpreted it as yamanya mushitaha. Yamanya means by the night, and mushitaha means stolen. Then Krishna told Srimati Radhika, I don't know who has stolen the night. And then she tried something else, and he also did the same thing. This is Pranayakeli. And then he took the opportunity to touch her Sundar transcendental form while doing this. This is Pranayakeli Vilas. So in Pranayakeli Vilas there is an entire domain of transcendental loving pastimes of Sri Krishna, who is always joking, who is always playing, who is always enjoying pastimes with his loving devotees, with Srimati Radhika and all of her expansions, gopis who are Kaya Vyuha. So now let us read the Vivriti of Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj, my Gurudev. In the verse beginning Chintamani Prakara, Brahmaji has described the method of meditation on many types of Sri Krishna's pastimes, Swarasiki Upasanamayi. And in the verse beginning Venum Quanantam, he has described meditation on one pastime situated in one location, Mantramayi Upasana. Now, in this verse, Brahmaji gives another example of meditating on Mantramayi Upasana pastimes, of which there are many examples in Shastra. So, there are now two examples given of Mantramayi Upasana, Venum Quanantam, and this verse, Aloda Chandrakalasa Dvanamalya Vamshi. And now Srila Gurudev is giving another example. On another occasion, Brahmaji has stated, Satpundarika Nayanam Meghabham Vaidyutambaram Dvibhujam Maunamudradham Vanamalinamishvaram. This is from Gopal Tapani Upanishad. I remember this very form of Govinda, the Lord of all lords, whose eyes are extremely beautiful and soft like an immaculate lotus, whose shyama-colored bodily luster resembles the hue of a fresh rain cloud, who gives relief to the hearts of the distressed, who is eternally full of unique effulgence. That is to say, his form is self-luminous, or his yellow upper cloth is like a fixed flash of lightning, who has two arms, so that with one hand he can deliver the jivas who are averse to him, and with the other he can give them prem, who is eternally situated in one mellow and one form, Jnana Mudra. Jnana Mudra is the finger position indicating knowledge, and this is also exhibited when Krishna is playing his flute. So Jnana Mudra does not mean Krishna is sitting down and lecturing. It is also shown when he is playing his flute with the first finger upraised. Who is decorated with a garland of forest flowers, Vanamala, who is hiding from the view of others, and who is tasting a special ras in a solitary place with one particular gopi. In this verse, an alternative meaning of Jnana Mudra is who, by playing his phenomenally ras-laden flute song, is absorbed in ras and therefore remains silent, unable to speak. This is an alternative meaning of Jnana Mudra. In the word Vanamala, Vana also implies that he is staying in a solitary place, while the verbal root mala means illumination. In other words, it refers to one who is revealed in the close company of his beloveds in a lonely place, and who is busy in pastimes with those gopis who surround him. So this is given for the benefit of those who want to try to understand what is the goal of practicing bhakti, to have some realization of rasa siddhant, to understand that Krishna is playing on his flute, and his flute is his sakhi, because flute is always tasting adara sudha, the nectar of Krishna's lips. Flute cannot be masculine. Flute is sakhi, and Krishna is absorbed in ras in playing his flute. How has Krishna learned to play his flute? Krishna's flute song has come from hearing the tinkling of the ankle bells of Srimati Radhika. And Krishna is absorbed completely in playing his flute. And he is absorbed in ras, and he is silent and unable to speak. And Krishna is remaining in solitude with one particular gopi. And one is only able to understand Sri Krishna, Rasaraj, by understanding his pastimes with the gopis. Vikriditam vrajavadhu biridam cha Vishnu shraddhanvito nusrinuyad atavarnayedyam. One must try to understand Sri Krishna's pastimes with the gopis. If someone thinks, oh, we will boycott the gopis and we will only do like the followers of Shankaracharya, and we will try to be strict sannyasis and renounce everything and say this world is all Maya, then at best it will be our destination to go to Brahma Jyoti and have Sayujya Mukti. Because there can be no entrance into Goloka Vrindavan without understanding that Sri Krishna is the taster, enjoyer of ras. And one must hear with faith, even if one's goal is not to have the service of Srimati Radhika, to become a Palyadasi of Srimati Radhika. One must hear how Krishna is dancing with the gopis. A devotee, someone who is a devotee of Narayana, they won't want to hear this. They won't want to hear this. They want to hear about the majesty of Vaikuntapati Narayan. They want to hear how Hanumanji is serving Sri Ram. But to hear how Krishna is dancing with the gopis, and then, if you read Rasa Panchadhyayi, gopis are giving Krishna some terms of abuse. They are saying, you are a cheater. You want to leave us. You are like the bumblebee who comes and takes the nectar from the flower and then flies away. They are saying so many things about Krishna. And that devotee who wants to go to Vaikuntha, they don't want to hear this. But in our line, Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Yakalpita, there is no more pleasing method than that mode of worship of the Vrajagopis. We worship. Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also said, Pugala Raga Patagaurava Bhange. Keep the Raga Marg on your head. Now some people try to quote this as an example. Oh, we should not discuss Raga Marg. We should not discuss Raga Marg. No, keep it on your head. You keep it on your head. It is there. It is on your head. But give it respect. Give it respect because this is the topmost thing. This is what we worship. Shrutis personified have said, Nibrita manun manokshadida yoga yujo hridiyan munaya upasate tadadayo piya yusmadanat striya udagendra bhoga bhujadanda vishakta diyo vayamapite sama samadrishongri saroja sudha. The Shrutis personified have said, there are munis, great sages, who do very, very hard tapasya for tens of thousands of years so that they can achieve the same result, Sayujya Mukti, which is gotten by demons who are slain by the hand of Sri Krishna. But the gopis, their minds were always distracted by thoughts of being embraced by the beautiful arms of Sri Krishna, which are shaped like the bodies of the kings of serpents. We want to become particles of dust at the lotus feet of those gopis. This is the prayer of the personified Vedas. It has been also described previously that in a previous kalpa, in a previous day of Brahma, actually this is in Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary on 10th canto of Bhagavatam, that personified Vedas became Shruti-chari gopis. And Shruti-chari gopis, Shrutis who are offering prayers in the 87th chapter of the 10th canto, they will also in next kalpa become Vraja gopis, Shruti-chari gopis. So Pranaya Keli is given so much meaning here. It is not possible to describe it fully. Continuing with Srila Gurudev's Vivrti. Furthermore, Brahmaji has also stated, Gopal Tapani Upanishad, second dhyan, Gopa Gopi Gavavitam Suradrumatalashritam Divyalankaraноpetam Ratnapankajamadhyagam. I meditate upon Sri Krishna, who is surrounded by gopas, gopis, and cows, who keeps himself hidden, gopa, or who is in the company of his gopa friends such as Sridama. So there are two meanings of gopa being given here. Gopa, gopi, he is also in a secluded place, enjoying pastimes with Srimati Radhika, or he is with his cowherd friends, with Sridama and others. Sridama, Sudam, Madhumangala, uh, and so on. The word gopi refers to his mother or to the gopis headed by Sri Radha. The word go means Veda, or the cows such as Kapila, who have all taken shelter of him. Suradharma Talashrita means that Sri Krishna is the subject matter established by the Vedas, or that he is standing beneath a desire tree. He is decorated with divine ornaments and possesses opulences such as wealth, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. He is seated like a jewel in the lotus of those hearts that are perfectly pure. In other words, he reposes upon a lotus beneath a desire tree in Vrindavan. So this is another example of mantramayi upasana. Now there are many statements such as this, that when Krishna is seated like a jewel in the lotus of the hearts of those that are perfectly pure, those hearts that are perfectly pure. The question is not that the heart has to become perfectly pure, the question is how to become pure. And we have heard this example, that one must follow Harikatha in the strict following of the Acharya. In Anugatya, we must always be following advanced devotees. An advanced devotee does not just mean, oh, Prabhu, I have been chanting for 30 years, for 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. No, it means advanced devotee means one in whose heart Rati has awakened, or at least in whose heart Ruchi has awakened, or at least in whose heart there is Nishta. There should be some fixedness. Madhyam Adhikar. This is now coming in the stage of Madhyam Adhikar, one who has Nishta, very firm, will never deviate, will never give up chanting, will never neglect bhajan sadhana, and who has a very firm knowledge of the Shastra, who can give arguments from Shastra, who knows all the Tattva Siddhant, who also knows the Rasa Siddhant. We must always follow those who are more advanced than ourselves. This is extremely important. There is no self-study program for bhakti. And by doing these things, by doing activities of bhakti, the 9 angas of bhakti, this will purify the heart. This will cleanse the heart, and the heart will become completely pure. It is not that we want to do austerities to cleanse the heart. We will do austerities as part of the angas of bhakti. We will do Ekadashi vrat, for example, which is a type of vrat, but it is a vrat which we are doing so that some special blessing will come, because we must have another ingredient. We must have anugatya, and we must also have kripa. So much kripa is needed. How I can possibly have any taste for Harinam? Oh Harinam, please, please bless me. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Please bless me. I want to taste one time the sweetness of Krishna name, of your name. I want to taste that. We must beg, and we should cry, we should weep for Kripa. This is how the heart will become pure, not by, oh, I will be a big renunciate and dry and give up everything, and only then I will realize. No, you will realize by practicing bhakti and giving up your attachments to sense gratification, which will be removed by the superior taste of bhakti. Continuing, similarly, Divyadvrindaranyakalpadrumadha Srimadratnagada Singhasanastho Shri Shri Radha Srila Govinda Devo Preshtali Sevyamano Smarami. I absorb my mind in remembering Shri Shri Radha Govindadev, who are gracefully seated upon a throne in a temple of jewels beneath a desire tree in the self-effulgent enchanting forest of Vrindavan. They are surrounded by the Priyasakis, who are rendering loving service to them. So we are meditating upon Sri Radha Govindadev. They are seated upon a jeweled throne under a desire tree, and they are surrounded by their very dearmost Priyasakis, who are rendering loving service. This is always the setting that we are meditating upon in this verse, which is giving pranam to Sri Sri Radha Govinda, Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojan. So Madan Mohan in the stage of Sambandha cultivation, Sri Sri Radha Govinda in the stage of Abhideya, and in the stage of Prayojan, Gopi Jana Vallabha. Sri Rupa has given a similar description. Mahendra Manimanjula Dyutimaranda Kunda Smrita Spurat Purataketaki Kusumaramya Pattambara Sragulla Sandura Stala Kwanatavenuratra Vrajan Vrajadagaharo Haratyahana Sakinam Manaha. Krishna's bodily complexion is more beautiful than a brilliant blue sapphire, and the kunda flower of his radiant smile shines on his lips. His upper garment resembles a fully blossomed golden ketaki flower, and his chest, which is adorned with a garland of forest flowers, is captivating. That very Shri Hari, who plays upon his flute in Vraj, is stealing our hearts. So these verses have been given as examples of mantramayi upasana. And reading these, we can see how much ras is present. So we do not exclusively meditate upon the Swarasiki Upasana, but we also accept these Mantramayi Upasana mantras, which are giving such beautiful, very sweet descriptions. So we will end there. Hare Krishna, Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.